Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man Ken Billions. How y'all doing on this good Sunday? I got a great conversation for you, and the conversation today is about how to chop it up, right? Conversation rules the nation. So, what I'm gonna talk about today is 7 ways to chop up game. All right. So you're gonna have to figure out what kind of game that you got and how you're able to deliver it so you can get what you want. All right. So I came up with 7 fire ways to chop up game, and I believe these 7 fit certain type of character types. All right, so you're going to have to figure out which one you fall into. Maybe you're a variation of a few of these, maybe you're not, right? But I think I got it down to a science on how to chop up game. I wanted to talk about conversation ruling the nation is because I think people have lost the art of communication, and people are taking losses and they're not getting the things that they want to get. And the reason why they're not getting the things that they want to get is because they don't know how to chop it up, and they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to be an effective communicator. And one of the reasons why they don't know how to be effective a communicator because I believe they don't know their conversation style. Conversation ruled the nation. In the beginning was the Word. Every single thing that you see in existence is based on conversation. It's based on negotiation, right? So the people that have what they want in life are effective communicators, and the people that don't, they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to chop it up, all right? And because of social media, a lot of people are antisocial, and they actually bring that kind of behavior online, right? It's called social media. So why wouldn't you be here being social? Why wouldn't you be reaching out? But the issue is people don't know how to use their words. Language is a tool to land somewhere. Language is a tool to get exactly what you want in life, right? That's what it's about. Don't you want to get what you want in life? Don't you want to be where you desire to be? Don't you have a vision board? I'm sure everybody at the start of the year had a set of goals, all right? And to achieve those goals, most of them, you need people, all right? So how are you going to get people to do the things that you need to do? You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to meet people. People bring seasons with them, all right? When people leave our life, they take a season with them. When people come into our life, they bring a season with them, right? So it's your language that gets you where you're trying to go. So I came up with 7 ways to chop it up because conversation really rules the nation. And the dope thing about the tongue, it's scalable, right? So it doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter if physically you can't perform anymore. As long as you have your mouthpiece, you should get exactly what you want. But you gotta know how to speak the language and use it as a vehicle to land where you need to land. All right, well, without further ado, this video is 7 ways to chop it up. Conversation rules the nation. So again, get out your pen and paper, or if you got a great memory, put me on record. I'm not going to have too many cusses, so your mom and them, even your mom and daddy and granny and them, could learn more effective ways to communicate. All right, so let's get into this game, right? Oh, do me a favor. Make sure you like and share the video. Tag somebody that you think could use this information. You guys are beautiful. I'm glad you guys are here. You guys are weathering the storm of the corona madness, and we still here. We still keeping it going. All right, so I'm glad you guys are here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. All right, let's get into this game. So listen, the first type of way to chop it up is the kinetic tongue. All right, the kinetic tongue. Now, what the kinetic tongue is a motivator. Kinetic energy is movement, right? The kinetic tongue is a motivator. It's a communicator that has the ability to move people, all right? So, for example, if you got the ability to get online, chop it up, and get somebody from California to come to Florida to kick it with you, you got a kinetic tongue because your words made an object move. If you got the ability to come into a boardroom and everybody is down, and because of your language, everybody is up and everybody is motivated and everybody wants to win, and you get everybody on the same page to do one thing, then you have a kinetic tongue, all right? And what you want to do is you want to have massive amounts of vocabulary for your kinetic tongue because everybody is different. People from down south are not like people from up north. People from the West Coast are not like people from the Midwest. Everybody listens a certain kind of way, and you don't sound how you think you sound. All right, so you can't talk to everybody the same way. So you're gonna have a certain type of chop to get people to do exactly what you need them to do in a timely manner. That's the thing, time, right? You gotta get to it. All right, so you want to invest in your kinetic tongue by watching a lot of movies, by reading a lot of books, by experiencing things, because your motivation is going to be based on the experiences that you're having. So you constantly need new stimulus, all right? So in the thing about having a kinetic tongue, you actually have to have a lot of animation with your words. You're going to have to practice what Jordan Belfort calls the art of tonality. You're going to know you have to know how to make your voice go in certain directions, okay? Because again, everybody is different. Every woman is not the same. If you're a man trying to get a woman to move, the down south woman is not like the woman from up north. Everybody is different, okay? If you are a dude and you play sports, or you are the leader of a team, and it's all males, you gotta find a language to get these guys up to perform. Because let's be honest, we live in a welfare state right now. People don't want to do anything. People want to sit and collect money from the government. So to motivate people, you're going to have a powerful kinetic tongue. All right, and I'm going to go through a few of these, and there's a few of these characteristics that fit into the kinetic tongue. And but you have to identify the crowd you're talking to. So that's based on observation, right? So the kinetic tongue for real is only going to be effective if you know your crowd. Okay, that's important. You got to know the temperature in the room. You got to know who you're talking to get the desired outcome that you want, right? Again, now, this is for people that's in the me business, right? Sometimes you're going to have to go into the we business so those we can benefit me, if you understand what I'm saying. Because you might have a goal, but you're not going to be able to achieve that goal unless you have a group, all right? So there's some things you can't do by yourself, like to win an NBA championship. You can't do that by yourself. So even though it might be an individual goal for you to win the MVP or even a championship, you're going to have to motivate these people to get up and play for you, okay? So you have to have the kinetic tongue, but you got to be a good observer. You got to be a good listener, because you got to know who you're talking to, because you don't want to offend, all right? So language is super duper important, all right? So before you start rah, rah, rah going in, you need to know exactly who you're talking to. And the best way to do that is, 1, effective listening, 2, effective observation, okay? So that might require you to step back and peep the scene before you always go in, all right? So the kinetic tongue is the first way to chop it up, all right? So the kinetic tongue is the motivator. Now, be careful though, because people that need motivation constantly need motivation, okay? Because they're not self-starters. So they're going to be coming to you every single day, and it's kind of draining. So you're going to have to stay up on your game, because the people are going to drain you, right? So you see people that go to church every Sunday, and no disrespect, they need to be motivated. So the person that is the pastor or the minister, that minister has to stay studied up, because they constantly have to come with new sermons, new ways to tell the same story over and over, because motivation, it's a dopamine, right? It's a high. And then when people, when the high comes down, guess what? They're going to come back, right, to you. But if you don't have the ability to motivate them, they're going to go to someone else that's more charismatic. So people that need motivation are not necessarily loyal to you. They're only loyal to the energy that you're bringing in at that particular time. And the downfall of having the kinetic tongue, the game is a what have you done for me lately business. So it's going to be based on what kind of motivation you got at the time. All right, you guys get that? Hey, make sure you like and share the video. Right now, this video should have hearts coming up, smiley faces coming up. Come on, man, be in the spirit of likes, right? And after you're in the spirit of likes, be in the spirit of hitting that Cash App. You feel me? Because it is the season of giving, right? That's what I feel right now. So go ahead and start pressing that like button until you break your phone. Let's go to number 2. Now this is a great way for people that have nothing to get something. because it's something about human beings that love talking about the good old days, the nostalgia finesse, resurrection. Donald Trump was able to talk to a nation of people about an ideal, about a concept. Make America great again, right? Think about that. Make America great again. He never really said what that meant. Some people took it and interpreted it on their own. Black people said, you know what? America was never great for us. Okay, that was a perspective. Other people looked at it as the industrial age, when America was creating products and America was leading the world in GDP, and America was the number one country in terms of innovation and manufacturing and production. Other people said, you know what? I love America when niggers knew their place and the white man was on top. Depending on the ear that was listening, everyone interpreted it a different way. Some women heard Make America Great Again and said, you know what? I'm not going back in the kitchen. Hell with that. We came too far for that. He never said what it meant. But that's the thing about the resurrection. Got my window open, sorry. All right. And they're getting it in on the highway. That's crazy about during this whole corona virus, the highway been open, so people been doing 120, right? That's the crazy thing about the nostalgia finesse. You don't know what it means. All you have to do is give people this ideal of the good old days, right? And if you can get an emotional response from talking about the past, people will follow you. Okay, so I know growing up in a black community, a speaker was able to get the people to follow them if they can promise or if they talked about days when black people used to stick together. Right now, I don't know your gender, I don't know what race you are, right? Find out what people you always find out the highs of your particular demographic. And if you're able to talk about those highs very well, people will follow you, even though they don't know what you actually mean. But if you talk about the days when you guys were winning and we need to win again, and we need to bring this back, and we need to get back to our traditions and our customs and our identity, people will follow you, even though they don't know what that means. That's the ill thing about Make America Great Again, because depending on who's listening, everyone is going to interpret it their own way. That's the thing about the nostalgia finesse. If you're able to talk to people and promise them that you are going to bring back the good old days, people will follow you blindly. Right? And they're killing it out there. Right? People will follow you blindly People will follow you blindly if you got the ability to promise to bring heaven back on earth. If you can promise men that they're going to have jobs and wages like back in the day, right? Or you can promise that you're going to bring industry back. You're going to we're going to be back on top like we used to be 100 years ago. People will follow you. Politicians always lean on histrionics. A good charismatic leader is a historian. A good charismatic leader is able to talk about the good old days and modernize it using popular terms with old ideals. And you will follow because a lot of people don't know how to fit into the new world. Now understand this. There's millions of people that haven't integrated into the internet age. If you are looking to have a kinetic tongue and make people move, if you appeal to a demographic that have lost jobs because of automation, if you appeal to a demographic that is really not internet savvy, right? Coal miners, manufacturing, people that work in manufacturing plants, assembly lines, if you can somehow get into their psyche and tell these people that you are going to bring back those good old days, they're going to follow you. Okay, if on a cultural tip, if you talk about nationalism like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Marcus Garvey, right? If you appeal to that demographic of the good old days, they're gonna follow you, right? If you are Anybody, it doesn't matter. The nostalgia finesse always works for a charismatic leader because people are always disgruntled about the now because they don't know how to fit in, and change always happens, but people don't change with the times. People are comfortable in the way of life that they understand. So they're not trying to make too many moves. They're not trying to learn new things. They're comfortable and they want their comfortable lifestyle back. And if you are a person that can talk in a way that pulls the heartstrings of those people, you will be super successful. If you apply nostalgia finesse with the kinetic tongue, you will get exactly where you're trying to go. I promise you. Okay, so you have the kinetic tongue, which is the motivator. You have the nostalgia finesse, which is resurrection, 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 right? Then number 3, mysterious words. These are kind of the same, but they're not, because mysterious words hides behind glamour. I'll give you a good example of mysterious words. Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, Diddy. He is the master of mysterious words. The master of mysterious words. Let me tell you exactly what that means. We all need to come together, right? Or Khaled, they don't want you to win. What does that mean, right? And you'll follow these people because they pull up in the Maybach. That's the glamour, right? See, when you put mysterious words behind materialism, people are going to follow you. And they don't know what the hell you mean. What do you mean bring people together? What does that mean? To do what exactly? They never tell you. They never tell you, but they talk collectivism, okay? So basically what they're saying is, I'm going to get a park full of people to do what? I just want everyone to come together to do what? See, if that was a homeless person, you wouldn't listen to them. But because they have something that you want materially, you'll follow them. This is where glamour comes in, right? Glamour is a form of witchcraft. It's not a bad thing, right? But it's a form of witchcraft. It's an illusion. It's not what it really looks like. And glamour only, mysterious words only work if you can if you can create the illusion of lifestyle, right? The way that I'm living is the best way to live. Because we live in America and people like shiny things, right? So if I can convince you to look over here while I'm saying meaningless words, you're going to be focused on here. And of course, you're going to associate what I'm saying with success. Of course, I know what I'm talking about, right? I got a nice car, right? Right? Lizzo can say something about white supremacy. Of course. And people follow it. Why? Because she's successful. We don't know if she reads books. We don't know who she studies. We don't know anything. She could just be saying shit she heard. But because she's successful and on TV, people are going to equate what she's saying with, you know what, you got the answers. But that's glamour, right? The scriptures say, study to show thyself approved. So you don't know if people are studying. You don't know if people are disciplined. You don't know what their life looks like behind the scenes. Only thing you know is them IG pictures and them filters. And that's glamour because it's a production. It's not what it really looks like. Now, look at people during the quarantine. You got to get a glimpse of how they really look. You started seeing people's gray. You started seeing women with no makeup. You started to see the real person. And it's nothing wrong with having a pimple on your face. It's nothing wrong with not being dolled up every day, right? You're human, okay? So you started to see people with the mask off because people wasn't able to hide behind glamour, okay? Now, if you are a person and you don't really have any depth to you, right? You don't really, you're not really savvy in terms of just the natural things that would make someone a great leader. If that's you, which is fine, the best way that you can get a following is hide behind your glamour. Use your good looks. Use your Benz. Use your Bentley. Use your pretty wife. Use your pretty, nice looking husband. Use your family, right? Use your skin tone, whatever it is, and just say meaningless words. But it's only going to sound meaningless to intelligent people. But the majority of public is dumb as hell. So you're good. But make sure you're selling something, because eventually the people are going to see your face crack, and it's going to be a moment where your glamour is not going to work for you. So while you got the attention of the people, make sure that you get the most out of it, because you're really you're hiding behind an image. You're hiding behind a IG filter. You're hiding behind a 550 Benz that you pay $700 a month payments on, right? You're hiding behind a mansion, but it's an Airbnb. It's not really yours, right? So use it to level up, because everybody doesn't have time to read 500-page books to get mad enlightened. And no hate, no shade. But if that's you, make sure your glamour game is tight. Make sure your glamour game has no holes in it, so you can scale and level up. And then hopefully after you level up, then you can get as deep as you want to be, because now you'll have time, now you have the finances, you'll have the space. You got to work with what you got, right? You got to play your best hand. So mystery words. All you got to do is go to Diddy's page right now and listen to how he talks about coming together and love, and what does that even mean, right? They don't break that down point by point and give you a real definition so you can have a starting point or a climax and an ending point. How are you going to know if you're on track or not? But he's famous and he's successful in America and he's on stage, so that's glamour. So people are not going to require that people explain themselves. But you can do the same exact thing starting where you're at. It's the game, smoke and mirrors, right? So you got the kinetic tongue, you have the nostalgia finesse, always talking about the good old days, and then you have mysterious words, being able to hide behind glamour, okay? Now, number 4, extraterrestrial spitter, right? One of you people watching me are the extraterrestrial spitter. What does that mean? You're a reject rest haven. A reject rest haven. What does that mean? That means you attract weirdos. That means when you talk, you have the ability to attract all the people that society doesn't want, which is great, because this is how you start your own cult. Most people that go into cults are society's rejects, which is fine, because you could be a beautiful reject, you could be a successful reject, you just don't fit into regular social norms. Nothing wrong with that. So you're an extraterrestrial spitter. So an extraterrestrial spitter is kind of mystery words, because let's take David Koresh from Waco, right? When he talked about the 7th seal, no one understood it, so they followed him, right? Right? The extraterrestrial spitter is able to talk about off-planet shit, and people find it super deep, and people will follow you, right? You got an extraterrestrial spitter has a crazy imagination. They might even have a severe mental illness, but they believe it, right? And it helps if a person is nice looking. So you could talk about a planet, Nibiru, Planet X is about to come and take us out of here, or you'll talk about something in the Bible, or you are the Lamb of God, or something that is really means nothing in hindsight, but you believe it, and you talk with conviction. Okay, now the world is filled with weirdos, rejects, right? Just people that don't fit somewhere and are looking for a home. Especially right now. Now's the best time to start a cult. It's people looking to follow somebody, and nothing wrong with that. So again, if you don't come from money, if you don't come from status, you could get people to follow you right now. All you have to do is talk about big ideals and off-planet things that is people don't really get, but you're believable, right? And you're convicted and you're consistent. You talk with conviction, you talk with audacity and authority about your topic. Understand something. It doesn't matter if what you're saying is true. The world does not matter what's true on this planet. If people believe it, then it's true. If you believe what you're saying is true, because the brain can't differentiate what's fact and what's fiction. We watch movies all the time, and you put music behind the movie, and it establishes emotional connection, and you start crying. You fall in love with characters that are not real. It's a character. So if you can cry on a movie, okay, a dog died in the movie, and you felt a connection with the dog. That means you are in suspended belief. But what's really real? Okay? Facts can be fabricated. You can create anything, right? And if you put a lot of power and emotion behind it, it's real. Right? The thing about it is I can't tell people what to believe and what not to believe, because what's real to you is real to you. That's your head. Your mind is your God. Your reality is your God. Okay? So an extraterrestrial spitter, if you cater your message to the rejects of the world, you will win. Stop talking to people that don't follow, that don't believe in what you believe in. Stop talking to people that are already part of a system. Focus on the people that are looking for homes. Focus on the people that don't have family. Right? Focus on the people that are tired of school. Focus on the people that want to opt out of the workplace. Focus on the people that are into anarchy. They will follow you. Why let these people be renegades, okay? This is about you coming up. This is about you being in the me business, all right? So all you have to do is study people like Osho and the documentary Wild Wild Country, David Caruso. They appealed to a certain demographic. Now, the interesting thing is successful and effective cult leaders know how to attract wealthy people. Don't think for 1 second that just because someone is wealthy, they're not a reject, right? The majority of the successful people in the tech world, they're not good with women. They were nerds. They look at Bill Gates. Does he look social? Does he feel like he knows how to talk to people? No, he does not. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, look how they feel, right? Technically, the richest people in the world are rejects. They didn't get girls in high school. They didn't play football. They didn't play basketball. They weren't popular. These are not homecoming kings. You know what I'm saying? They didn't date the most popular girl in school. Now imagine if Jeff Bezos is in your cult. You have unlimited resources. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg is in your cult. You have unlimited resources. Now, I don't give a damn if you don't like what I'm saying. This is about the level up. This is about how to chop it up, because conversation ruled a nation, right? So this is about getting a win on your level, all right? So the extraterrestrial spitter, all right? Focus on the rejects, and it's a lot of them. They're all on Facebook. So you got the kinetic tongue, which is the motivator. You got nostalgia finesse, which is resurrection. You have mystery words, which is hiding behind glamour but really not saying anything. You have extraterrestrial spitter, which is a reject rest haven, right? You attract all the weirdos, all right? And now let's go on to number 5. I call this one Scholarship Scottie. Scholarship Scottie. What does Scholarship Scottie mean? A Scholarship Scottie is a messiah to nerds. Right? That means you read all the books. You could break down communism. You could break down socialism. You could break down nationalism. You could break down economy, right? A scholarship Scotty's usually broke as hell, though, right? So they like to debate. But if you are a scholarship Scotty, that's great, because people love people that know a lot about shit. Pointless information, but it gets some people high. Now, that's an art, that's a way to finesse, okay? You can finesse with your scholarship, because, again, when you talk over people's heads, people will be like, oh man, this brother's so enlightened, this sister's so smart, and they will follow you for scholarship, right? So you want to focus on your strengths. So ask yourself, why are you reading the books you read? Okay, you want to learn. Okay, then what? Why are you watching the documentaries you want to learn? The documentaries you watch? Oh, because you like knowledge. Okay, that's one thing. Now what? After you watch 1,000,000 documentaries and 1,000,000 books, now what? You're on sensory overload. What are you going to do with that information? What about the people that are nerds? Okay, so you need to build up your Rolodex, and the best way to do it is being Scholarship Scotty. You can write books. You could do podcasts. Okay, you can create dialogue on chat rooms. You can go live on Facebook, right? You can argue about the benefits of socialism opposed to capitalism. Okay, you can talk about Marxist theory. I mean, you could talk about string theory and Mandela effect and all that shit. And there's people that like it. If you're a male and you're a scholarship Scottie, yo, there are women that, listen, you don't have to bring nothing to their life except books. And that's cool, right? So do that. Focus on that. Okay? So you don't need to step out of what you already do. All you need to do is perfect what you're working with already. If you're a scholarship Scottie, let me tell you something. Only thing you need is a haircut and clean sneakers, and you can get exactly where you're trying to go, right? Because that's a way in, because knowledge is power. That's a way into doors. That's a way into different social circles, because a scholarship Scottie just knows mad things about a lot of random shit for no reason. But it's a form of a level up if you know how to work it. It's a form of you can get where you're trying to go. Okay, listen. It's been a lot of scholarship Scotties on the internet, right? And you sit back and you be like, damn, this brood is deep. This woman is deep. They tell you, I'm going to start a school. I'm going to do this. I'm going to big plans. See, but where scholarship Scottie messes up, they stop focus on scholarship and go and try to do business, right? Like, you don't do that. Just be the bookworm. Scholarship Scottie messes up their finesse because they try to do other things, right? They don't stay in a lane of being the nerd messiah, right? So now what happens is people start to see you who you really are. Like, damn, yo, you ain't really that tight. You ain't really that dope because you try to step into other arenas. You try to step into being a businessman and you're not. You try to start a school and you can't because you're just scholarship Scottie and you're good with information. Stay there, because when you try to go into other arenas, you look suspect, and which is, we all have our down moments, but you got to be honest and know who you are, right? So what happens is people be trying to blend worlds, right? So scholarship Scottie tries to go be a superstar. How they found you, be loyal to that. Be loyal to the way people found you. And the only thing you got to worry about scaling is your scholarship. Don't try to be a super entrepreneur. That's not who you are. That's not how people found you. Your scholarship Scottie, you know, you read stuff and got a great memory and you're able to regurgitate it. Leave that, right? Because you could put a book out like that. People be still pulling up to your live stream, right? Stay in your lane. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because what happens is if you don't stay in your lane, people start to pick your life apart, and then they get to see that, you know what, your car is junky, your house is junky, your life is trash. Nah, don't do that. Stay in the books. Be the nerd messiah. Have everyone thinking you are the knowledge god, which is nothing wrong with that. Because again, this is just 7 ways to chop it up. Okay, so you got to identify who you are and be honest about that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. But this one is mad important because they're all over the internet and y'all been following them for years and you've been seeing blunders. There's compilation videos of scholarship Scotties on the internet taking L's. Why? Because they stop being this and start trying to be revolutionary leaders and just stay in your lane. It's all good, no problem, right? Okay. So you have the kinetic tongue, which is the motivator. You have nostalgia finesse, which is resurrection, talking about old ideals and getting people to remember the good old days. You got mysterious words, which is glamour, and that's basically the ability to talk about nothingness and make it seem like it's something, but you're hiding behind witchcraft, which is glamour. All right. So then you got extraterrestrial spitter, basically the reject rest haven. You are a magnet for the weirdos. And you got scholarship Scottie, the nerd messiah, the person that is just crazy with books and documentaries and a lot of information, and that's it. And now number 6, you got the chatterbox basic, the charity case. Now, a lot of women have mastered the chatterbox basic, right? And that's a form of finesse, but they end up losing with it. And I don't recommend this unless you know how to scale immediately. And what this is a lot of women meet men and talk about their problems immediately. Like soon as he meets you, you talk about your car's broke down, or you just got kicked out of your apartment, or you just got in an argument with your friend. You know why? Because a lot of women like to talk, and they talk and they listen to them. They just talk for no reason, right? And then they put themselves in a bad situation because they feel like a man knows them, and only thing he did was just listen to you, right? And you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest date ever. And the only thing you did was talk about your problems. That's because you're just a chatterbox basic, a charity case. Now, this is only effective if you get a person to cash out on the spot, because if you don't, people are going to resent you, and then you're going to build a name for a GoFundMe queen, right? That's all you are. Everybody you talk to knows your problems, right? And people have took standing in your truth way too far. Everybody you meet knows that you got raped. Why? Everybody you meet knows you got molested. Why? Well, I'm standing in my truth. But you're couch surfing though. So if you're standing in your truth, and your diet consists of top ramen, you have to ask yourself, is standing in your truth an effective strategy the way you're doing it? Okay, you want to stand in your truth at a high price. Okay, so the only type of the time where chatterbox basic is effective is if you get a person to spend maximum amounts on you immediately, because the more they talk to you, the more they're going to dislike you, right? You're bad luck. The only thing you talk about is your problems, and who really got time for that, right? Standing in your truth doesn't mean talking about your problems. Standing in your truth means this is who I am. This is how I get down, accept it or not. But you better have your own shit. Because if you need stuff from people, standing in your truth, it might be repellent, okay? And you've been educated by trash femininity teachers. I'm just being honest. So chatterbox basics, a charity case, I don't really recommend that form of chopping it up, but if that's you, then you need to strike like a cobra immediately. So that means if you find a guy that really likes you and your story is compelling and he want to help, you better get something out of him to where you don't gotta ask him for shit anymore. Because the more he listens to you talk, he's gonna wind up pivoting for a girl that got her shit together. Okay, so I'm not gonna stay on this one too long, because I've met this before, right? And you don't want to be this. So, but if you are that, you want to use it as you want to put venom in a person immediately to pull out what you need and leave it at that. Okay, so let's pivot from there, because I don't like the chatterbox basic. Okay, so number 7, the professional campaigner. Now this one is the best one, right? Because the professional campaigner deals with vertical growth. Let me tell you what that means. The professional campaigner actually goes with the course that I'm coming with, which is the how to campaign hard as fuck. Now, the professional campaigner, when it meets people, you go in. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I do this. Ain't nobody fucking with me, right? You want people to talk about you like, man, this person crazy, yo. Because the difference between the chatterbox basic is the chatterbox basic talks about their problems. The professional campaigner talks about their skills, right? They run them down. Yo, you need to know me because, man, I'm a Harvard graduate, because I do this, because I got the ability to increase profits in a company. Yo, look at my weight loss. Yo, look at my muscles. Look at my level up. Look at me. Boom, 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 boom. Now, the reason why this is the most effective one is because you're dealing with vertical growth. You're talking your way into a situation. Now, it's going to turn bottom feeders off. But people that are moving and shaking, they're going to be like, man, this person got some shit. Yo, who are you? But you're going to have to be able to show and prove, because you're going to talk yourself onto a stage. Then you better be able to perform. Okay, so the professional campaigner is different than a chatterbox basic, because the chatterbox basic is talking about their problems. They want welfare. They want a charity, right? Professional campaigner want to turn a profit. Vertically though, not horizontally, right? They're not saying in 10 years. A professional campaigner is saying in 10 days, this is what I'm gonna do. But you gotta be able to show and prove, because people are gonna give you an opportunity, because you are using your words in a grandiose fashion. You are basically saying that, you know what, I'm campaigning and I should be elected, and here's why I should be elected. Okay, that's what makes a great politician. I'm the man for the job. I'm the woman for the job. Here's why. Let me tell you why. And then what they do is start leveraging their career in their jurisdiction. What they've done. You know what I'm saying? How lives have improved because of them. All right? You're a professional campaigner. Basically what you are doing is pimping yourself out every chance you get. Man, I'm the best there ever was. I'm the best that ever existed. I do this, man. I'm the smartest. I'm boom. Now, it's gonna turn people off, but it's usually a people that think you should be humble. And that's usually bottom feeders, right? That's usually bottom feeders. Because if you notice, there's a trait that people at the top are very arrogant, but it's different. It's a different kind of arrogance, right? They lead with their skill set. Okay, so the only people that you're going to turn off is people that don't have nothing for you anyway. Okay, and this is the most effective form of chopping it up, because this will get you exactly where you're trying to go. Everything else works, but it's, you know, it's a certain type of space. This one could get you $100 million. This one can make you into a billionaire. This one, you don't have to have 2 nickels in your pocket, and if you talk the right shit, in 2 years, you could be rich as hell. Okay, so being a professional campaigner deals with vertical growth. Everything else that I said deals with horizontal, a straight line. Okay, we want to go straight up like a rocket ship. And again, remember, the professional campaigner is different than the chatterbox. The chatterbox basic, which is mad people. Yo, matter of fact, I made the chatterbox basic about women, but it's men too, because the chatterbox basic also says shit like this. You know, the system is hard. I'm oppressed. Because capitalism, or my mother, my father, you know what I'm saying? Men talk about their problems too, right? Especially black men, especially men at the bottom, poor whites. There's a reason why you're not successful, and you usually tell people that immediately, right? So the chatterbox basic goes both ways. So I don't want to make it like it's a woman thing, but it's very common with women, but men do it too. Whatever is your handicap, you need people to know it, so you can try to so they sympathize with your life, as if anyone cares, right? The professional campaigner does not do that. The professional campaigner is accountable for their life, and they want people to know they're the shit, even if they got handicaps. Everyone has handicaps, but the professional campaigner is a person that is like, yo, I'm here, and I shall improve. Give me the microphone. I'm the illest. Give me a stage. Give me a pen. What is it? They're gonna smash the competition. They're talking their way into an opportunity to show and prove, to prove that they're the best. All right, so everybody, I think, falls in somewhere around here, a variation, right? They're a variation of something in here. All right, and understand this is all about conversation. Conversation rule the nation. To get the things you have to want in life, you're going to have to talk to other humans. You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to use your language. If you're not using your physical language, then you're using your digital language. You should not be on social media not being social, right? You should chop it up in comment sections, not argue, not debate. Throw someone a compliment in the comment section. Hey, yo, I checked out your profile, bro. You look dope. You know what I'm saying? Yo, hit me up, fam. If you're ever in town, hit me up. Someone might take your offer. That person might be legit in the game, right? So use your social media to be social. When you go outside, say hi to people, smile, chop it up, dress to impress, dress like you want to attract, dress like you want people to say something to you. We live in a generation where people are way too antisocial and way too cliquey. That ideal of no new friends is funny, because Drake had a song with no new friends while he's making new friends. How do you think he got rich? That's new friends, new money. They want you not to make new friends so they can hog them up, so you don't get them, right? No, you want to make new friends. It doesn't mean you got this guy's going to be buddy, inviting each other over the house. But what it is people bring seasons with them, all right? So that's what you should be focused on. So dress to impress. right? Go outside, smile, shake hands, chop it up with people on social media, not just in the comment section arguing, but reach out to people. You see somebody's profile, you think they're cool, reach out with a service that you offer and say, yo, how can I help you? Let's do a favor for a favor. You know what I'm saying? You give me a blast, I give you a blast. Stuff like that. Let's start networking more so you can make the internet work for you and make your swag work for you, your words work for you, your look work for you, okay? If it's 7 billion people, then you should be running through people like that to see who can serve your agenda. And that's what it's about. So rewind the video, tag someone in the video that you think can use this information, because this is game, all right? From a professional, I do this shit, right? So, like I just said, that's a campaign. I said I do this, right? I do this. And to prove that I do this, I'll be back again and again and again. And then I got a video track record showing me doing this, right? So, conversation rules the nation. This is 7 ways to chop it up, all right? So, you see that Cash App? Go ahead and tip me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, because you're going to use this and you're going to win. So fair exchange ain't no robbery. So I don't want you to feel guilty out there using my game and you know damn well you ain't paying me for it. I don't want you to go through that, right? So you might as well just tip me right now. Put it in right now so you don't feel guilty. I don't want you to feel guilty, all right? All right, so until next time, my name is Ken Billions. You'll be safe out there. Love yourself, all right? Until next time, peace.